Okay, Mark Barker's the Saint scenario, alternative Trafalgar, that took place on off the Dominican coast. This is a reset because I've had some communication with Mark. Seems a fairly nice guy, and he's informed me of my setup error. So I could have carried on, but I'm more interested to see it from his perspective. So if we take a picture of it, I took a photo of the startup. So what I did in my initial one is I set the Spanish here up on map B instead of map C. So I had a big chunk of units there. So I've taken that back and I've played the first few turns, as we can see. Now up to turn 3, and we've just had the first fire. Okay, so we've had the British doing the same thing. They've been steaming ahead again. They're still going into they're still beating into the wind. So they've had their full sails up and they've just taken those down. We have the first French, oh, that's my little marker to show I've activated that. That was last turn. Got the first French squadron or division here. This one here, which is turning round because they're worried they're going to be a bit too far away. And the Spanish have just been carrying on again, trying to do the same sort of thing, as bring as many of the Allied guns to bear as possible. You know, I'm aware that after I haven't played many of these games, but I know the British firepower firing at the hull, the benefits, obviously the excellent cannonades they have on board makes this you know, quite a pro-British naval. I mean, they were very good sailors, weren't they? So that's where we're at the moment. So what I was going to attempt to do is go through just play a whole turn and see where we're up to. Now, there has been some fire at the Northumberland and the Victory. None of it particularly effective. We can see the Victory have lost a little bit of rigging, and the same for Northumberland, and a whole hit. And that was it. So there hasn't really been any British fire. So we'll go through a turn. So the first thing we do is we roll for wind change. Looking for a 0 for a wind change. We get an 8, so no wind change. Next is commands. Okay. This stage of the game, this is pretty straightforward, really. We start Cochrane here, so we have formation command there. So they're all in formation command. I put a command split in the middle. You don't really need it at this stage, but for illustrative purposes, I will do that. We then go over to the Allies. Again, we've got a formation command here for the Spanish. That's absolutely fine. Back to the British. Okay, so we have Nelson and his column. They're in command as a formation command. We have Villeneuve and his French division here. Okay, his French line there. They're all one command. Again, I put a command split counter in here, not that you really need it in this situation. No more British to do commands, but we do see these guys here. There is something we need to do here. So here's the commander. Oh, sorry, there's the commander. He's got a radius of 6. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't quite make it to the head of the column here. So these ships here, these 3 ships are all in command, and these are out of command. So I'll just mark those out of command. Now, at this stage, being out of command doesn't seem to be particularly much of a problem. These guys are quite a long way away from the British. I don't think there'll be many firing options, because that's what being out of command does. You need to pass a test of fire and to move adjacent to an enemy. It's not going to be a problem, and hopefully the French guy in the flagship there would have got his division sorted out. Okay, so that's command phase done. Next we do initiative. So we look at our admirals. So we've got Nelson here, who's looking, you know, with his 4 rating, and we have Villeneuve with his 3 rating. Okay, so we roll the dice. We add those ratings to the dice. Okay, well, 0 and 7. So the British are going to activate first. Quick little think about what to do. Any advantage of moving forward first? Generally like to let the Allies see what their plan is, but I do have I have a concern here that these are targeting the rigging of these 2 ships. Now they are beaten into the wind, so some sail loss, as it happened to my last sort of partial replay is going to cause them a huge amounts of problems. So do we want to move them first? We're only going to move 2, and you know, it will give this guy, you know, if the Cochrane moves forward to here, he does have a potential shot at these guys. Trying to save those broadsides for when it counts. They will be firing into the wind, which is not great for aiming at the hull, but they are British, so give them a flat die roll. Or should we let the French, what do you think the French are going to do? Just carry on there? They don't want to close with the British, so I guess the French are going to just carry on there and snipe them long range and try and disrupt these columns by taking out rigging. So let's get a shot in. Okay, we'll have a shot because that's what part of this replay. So going to activate this column here, and we'll start with the flagship. Now I'm playing the optional defensive fire rule, so after each MP spent by an activated ship, the opponent can fire. Now we're aware that we are beating into the wind, so the French know these are, you know, at maximum he's going to get to here. Have to be a bit careful of a rake option, but you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs, can we? So here we go. So we're going to go 1, no response. 2. Again, there's no rush for the French to fire. Cochrane will then announce broadside on the left there, targeting the Berwick. And again, I don't think it's going to do significant damage. I think the Berwick will just say, yeah, fine, go and shoot at me from that range. I'm quite happy to do that. Okay, so this is the first shot from the port for the Northumberland. So I'm going to mark his port side. I use these as a little initial broadside, so he's going to fire his port broadside at the Berwick. Oops, just knocked a ship with my hand then. Okay, and we've got a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A range of 5. So get my handy dandy chart out here. The Northumberland is a third-rate ship. So here we go. So third-rate ship, range of 5. We have a 5. And I like using these charts because they have the carronade bonus and everything's all built into it. So we've got 5. Audacity puts it up to 7. And its initial broadside puts it up to a 9. Okay. So just to remind myself, I just swing this across to the 9 there. We know we are firing into the wind, okay, which is not so great because obviously the angle of the ship. So that's a -1, but we're aiming at the hull and we're British, so that makes it flat. So we've got a flat roll on the 9. I might use my little board, I can roll on here to make life easier. Okay, so we've got 6. 6 on 9. We have 2 hull and a rigging hit on the Berwick. So 2 hull. Let's find where the Berwick is. There we go. 2 hull and a rigging hit. So it's a start, but it's not having any immediate effect. That's him activated, and I just use these little markers, these little clear markers. I'll just grab a handful of those to show me that I've activated, because I've got a terrible memory. Okay, so next ship. Okay, 1, 2. No one's going to bother with fire there. And in fact, all the ships are going to follow in line along 2. And I will mark them all as activated. Okay, so that's them done. So now it goes to the French side. Okay, now these guys are moved now, so there's no immediate rush to do anything here. I can't see, I mean, these can only beat 2 forward. So, yeah, okay, well, let's move these guys here then. Let's have a go. So we're going to activate Villeneuve's line here. So let's start with his lead ship, the Pluton, who is currently reaching into the wind. So he's got 5. So I'm careful not to overshoot this. I just want to get this guy into my broadside, which he is, and keep him there. And I'd like to move the line along to try and get some of these guys into shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be quite good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just thinking if I need to back sails at all. We don't want to go too fast. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we've got 5. You can back sails for half your movement, basically. round down, so he can have 2 back sails, which effectively gives him a movement of 3. So move, back sail, move, back sail, move. Okay. Now, of course, the British could respond to that, but I don't think there's any point in doing that. Again, he's not going to fire at the Victory yet because these guys have not activated, so they're only going to get closer. We're going to do the same with this guy. Move, back sail, move, back sail, move. Okay, again, they can keep an eye on the Victory. These other guys here will be covering Cochrane's column, which obviously have moved, so we might as well take a shot of these as we go along. So we move 1. Okay, and we fire at that point. I just use this little dice to remind me that we've used 1 movement point. Obviously there's no return fire can be done, so the Atlas is going to fire a broadside at I suppose I could go 1 further and go for a rake, though I'm going for the rigging, so it doesn't really matter now, but that's fine, won't make any difference in this particular case. So we've got a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, range of 4. So I use the French card here. We have a well gun 3rd rate, a range of 4, gives us a 6. Here we are, 6. Sorry, I'm waving this around when I'm looking at it, trying to stop you being all seasick. Gives us a 6. Obviously Atlas has already fired previously, so we've got a 6 plus the Audacity gives us a 7. Okay, 7. We can see he's firing into the wind, which is good, and his French is going to get +2 on this die roll. Get 4, gives us a 6. 6 is going to give us 2 rigging and a hull hit, okay, on the Northumberland. So let's go across the Northumberland. 2 rigging, completely 4, which is good, so it's going to slow it down a little bit. And a hull hit, which is, you know, all helps. Okay, so that's going to slow the Northumberland down a little bit. Back to the ship, it's moved 1, back sail 2, back sail 3. Okay, and basically we're going to repeat the same with the Berwick, which has taken us a little bit of damage, but is not affecting its overall performance yet. So we go 1, back sail 2, back sail 3, and at which point we will fire. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's exactly the same shot as before because it's a well gun 3rd rate. So we know we're on the 7 with a +2. So we've got a 1, we've got a 3, and that gives us 1 hull hit. Sorry, I'm not pointing at the right place. 1 hull hit. Okay, it's not really what we want at the moment, but you know, it never hurts, does it? So that's another hull hit on the Northumberland. Puts him up to 3. Next ship, we've got the Neptune's going to do the same. 1, back sail 2, back sail 3. Just worth if it thinks closing a line there or not. No, I don't know what difference it makes, but I quite like him looking like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Actually, it would make him a little bit closer. So we're going to do that. So we'll go back to here. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, back sail. Okay, the Neptune's a big ship, 1st rate ship. I know it hasn't got the heaviest guns on it, but it's still a significant shot. Plus, it hasn't fired yet, the Neptune, so he's going to get that broadside bonus. So starboard, go to the Neptune. Find your starboard initial broadside. That gives us 1 hex closer, so we're now on 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the French here. It is a 1st rate, but not very well gunned. Range 4 gives us an 8. Audacity 9. Initial broadside 11. Okay, so across we go to 11. We know we're going to be on +2. 4. Not great, but we'll see what we get. 4. It's going to give us 3 rigging. Sorry, I keep doing that, don't I? 3 rigging hits. Okay, that's not bad. We don't mind that at all. Okay, so the Northumberland, who was already on 4, is now on 7, which is going to give it a -2. It basically means, because it's beaten into the wind, it is now adrift. I don't know what order you actually mark this in, but I'll do it now so I remember. Okay, so he's adrift because he's got -2, and it costs 2 to beat into the wind. So